Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Leorah and I help individuals like yourself to discover and reveal their light within. This week's energy is extremely exciting. We are in a week where the cosmic energy helps us to really embrace our true self. Not what society said about us, not what our household, our parents have said about us, not what the school has said about us, not what anybody has said about us, but our true essence, not even what we have said about ourselves. There's also a layer there. So we are going to discover our true essence, and the whole cosmic energy is standing behind us to do just that. We have the principle of karma this week, cause and effect. That means that yes, we have sown some things into our life. We have had some thoughts, some limiting beliefs that we've thought about ourselves, and we are reaping the effect of those. But we no longer want to be just unconsciously going through this world. We want to consciously be the cause of everything. So you are already the cause of everything in your life. But when you take that responsibility, when you say, I am in my life is where it's at because of the choices I've made, because of the things that I have sown either in this life or a past life, and everything that is in my life is good. Everything is the light of the Creator. Everything is there to challenge me to transform and to come more into my true essence. That means that we, by taking responsibility, and I'm not talking about fault. I'm not saying this is your fault or that was your fault or, awful things happen to everybody in life, from child abuse, from neglectful parents, from, you can figure out the rest. But what I'm saying is it's never a child's fault. I'm not talking about fault here. I'm talking about responsibility. That means if it's in my life, I'm choosing to take responsibility for it. It also doesn't make the person who has done it to us right or wrong. It doesn't put them in a light that it was okay that it happened, that they did that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about taking responsibility. Look, I come from a background of being abused as a child multiple times from multiple people. But if I stay in that energy, if I let that pull me backwards, then I just continue carrying that wound around with me. And a certain part of myself gets taken into hostage. And by taking responsibility for it, saying, I don't understand why it happened, but I know it's for my highest good. Everything in my life that happens is for my highest good. And when we take that responsibility, when we accept that, then we're no longer victims. We come into our power and we realize, especially if you were victimized as a child, it's a very, very hard road to come up out of that. And the only way I found to come up out of that is to take responsibility for my life. I know it sounds kind of harsh, but when I believe that I am responsible for everything that happens in my life, then who can do anything to me? Nobody. And then I can start making the decisions. I can start being the cause from this moment on. And that's the important part. You cannot have freedom without being the cause of everything that has taken place in your life, is taking place in your life, or will take place in your life. We also make mistakes. We also have done things in our life that we're not proud of. And we have to take responsibility for that, but not in a way that we beat up on ourselves, but in a way that we see what we've done, we accept what we've done, and we choose to change it. The ego likes to hold you. The ego is so tricky. The ego will get you to do something and talk you into doing something that you know is wrong, and then you do it, and then what does the ego do? Oh man, I can't believe you just did that. You're so awful. How could you? Okay, that's the ego's trick. That's not your higher self. That's not the light of the Creator. Nobody is judging you except for yourself. Nobody. I know it seems like the judgment comes through other people, but it's seriously just what you carry within yourself. And they're just mirroring what you believe about yourself. And that's the truth. And when we learn to go about this world and to realize that everything that happens and everybody who comes to us is just a mirror. And if we learn to work with our mirrors by working on the inside, by working on ourselves, by working on taking the messages that these messengers are bringing us, because the message is truly coming from the light, from the Creator, and saying, okay, what are you trying to show me? How am I still judging myself? How am I still being mean to myself? How am I still lying to myself? What's this supposed to show me? Why did I just get ripped off? How am I ripping off other people? In what way? Maybe, you got ripped off from money. You lost some money. And maybe you're ripping people off by being an energy vampire. It doesn't always have to, so we have to think a little wider. We don't want to think just so narrow that, okay, if somebody stole money from me, I didn't steal any money from anybody else. So no, but are you stealing time from somebody? Are you stealing someone's energy? What are you stealing? Okay, so we have to look at it a little in a wider perspective to find out what that mirror is trying to show us, okay? And when we accept everything, when we accept it, okay, this is good for me. It doesn't mean we are passive and we don't do anything about it. But in the moment, we accept it as being from the light. And first, we take the message it's supposed to tell us, and then there might be action that we need to take in this 1% reality. Okay? And then we need to be brave enough to do what we need to do. So we have the power this week to access our true identity. Who are you? One very, very easy way to find out who you are is to get a soul's plan reading. That is an astrological reading that my daughter and myself offer in order to, it's pretty much your manual that you come with in this world. Each and every one of us comes with a manual. You come with energy. As you were in the endless world, as a soul, you picked out your body, you picked out your life, you picked out your parents, you picked out all the energies. The cosmos is just full of energy. Every planet has a certain energy and represents a certain thing. And you picked out the exact constellation that would help you to transform and fulfill the purpose of your soul. And so why wouldn't you want to know that? Why wouldn't you want to know what your purpose is? There are so many aspects of your chart that you can see everything. You can see every aspect, whether it be career, whether it be your family life, your relationship, your love life, you can see every aspect in there, everything. Your whole life you can see in there. And our readings aren't meant to say, okay, well, this is what you've been chosen from the cosmos. Good luck, you're stuck with it. No, we teach you we coach you through how to transform it. You got those points in your chart to transform, not to be enslaved to. Very, very, very important part. I'm not talking about regular astrology that just says, okay, this is what you're made up of. These are the energies you're made up of, and that's why your life's like that. No, we see why your life is like that, why it's gone this far, and what ways it's going, and usually you see patterns in your life, and then we can see the energy behind those patterns, say, see, this and that is calling to you. Your soul is calling to you to transform that energy. And we coach you through transforming that energy. And then you will have breakthroughs in your life. You will finally understand what you're here to do. And if you have blockages in your life, okay, I've been doing this for a long time. I've had many soul plan readings, and it's always a process. It's another layer, because you have different aspects that your soul's concentrating on. And right now, the fortune part in my soul plan, my soul has made me aware of. And so now I'm seeing it so clearly. I'm seeing what's standing in my way. And now that I can see it, I have an option to transform it. And that's the trick. That's the whole purpose of it. It's not there to hinder me. It's there to hinder me in a way only so for me to notice it. That's the only way or a reason the hindrance is there. And as soon as I notice it, then I can consciously, and everything is consciousness, I can consciously choose to change it. And then I actually know how. It's like, I don't understand. It's like putting together a very complicated machine or trying to operate a very complicated machine and you do not know what part is what or how to turn it on or anything. That's basically how we go through life when we don't know our own manual. You come with a manual. My mother used to always say, kids don't come with manuals. It'd be so easy if they came with manuals. And then when I got older, I realized, hey, oh my God, we come with manuals. It's like she was shouting that to me and I just couldn't understand it. You know, we seriously come with a manual. And I will give a link at the bottom of this video for you guys to sign up for your soul plan reading, for you to make your appointment. It will be the best investment you've ever made. And with that, we have coaching that we do to help you out. I just got a phone call from somebody I was coaching, and he said that gave me that maybe 30-minute conversation I had after I had my soul plan reading, and about a year ago. Now he's doing the coaching. You know, it's not constant coaching, is whenever he needs it, whenever he realizes a point is coming up and now I need extra help, because we sometimes can't see things so clearly when we're in the middle of it. And so he asked me for a phone call yesterday. We talked, and immediately, because I'm very familiar with this chart, I can see what's going on in that situation. 30-minute call, huge change in his life. He shifted his perspective, could see it all of a sudden, what his ego was doing, what his soul was crying out to him to change, and it just made so much sense. Everything just kind of falls into place, and you're like, oh, that was so easy. And so that's how your life can be. It does not have to be difficult. But when you're driving or flying blind, it can be rather trying. I will admit that, okay? So you have a manual. Make your appointment and get your manual read to you. In the future, we'll have an academy opened up where children, this is like basic knowledge that every human being should have, where children, young ages, will start to learn about their personal manual and start to learn how to read it, because it's just essential information that it's fundamental, basically. And so that academy is in my heart, in my mind, in my vision, and I can't wait to bring it to the world. Okay, so get your chart read if you haven't done that yet. And let's talk about stepping into, a very important part of stepping into your true essence, is getting to know yourself. And that's how you can best get to know yourself in quickest way. So you also want to understand that it's kind of like, you know, that little, those little cartoons we see sometimes, the little devil on one shoulder and the little angel on the other shoulder, and we're in the middle. That's kind of, it kind of is the way I see how our thoughts and how our ego, the little demon or devil on the side, and the angel, our higher self, or the light of the creator, how we receive communication. So it's kind of like, it's two radio stations. You have the dark radio station or you have the light radio station. And it just depends which one you tune into. And you can't, of course, listen to both at the same time. Okay, you are the receiver, and it just depends what you're tuned into. And if I'm tuned into dark radio station, then that means I'm getting negative thoughts. Negative thoughts never, ever, ever, ever come from the creator or from your higher self, from your essence, from who you truly are. Negative thoughts are not a part of it. It's always ego-based. So I'm getting a negative thought. I'm tuned into to the dark radio, and I notice, okay, does this thought serve me? Is this thought really bringing me any further? Is this fear doing anything for me? Is it helping me on my way? Is it helping me transform? Or is it holding me back? 10 out of 10 is going to be holding you back, okay? So it's holding me back. And what is the fear? What is it telling me? And I go and I take the opposite, because the ego can only shoot lies at us. I take the opposite and I turn the station onto light radio. And I say, ooh, that means I'm really going to make it. That means I can really do this. That means that my true essence, what my soul is trying to get out there through this lie that I'm hearing right now. Because you choose what you believe. That's the receiver. The receiver's point, the thoughts are actually not coming from you. Neither thoughts are coming from you. You get to use your free will to choose. Am I going to listen to my ego, the negative thoughts, the dark thoughts, or am I going to listen to my soul, my true essence, the light thoughts, the light-filled thoughts? Okay, and that's where we have free will. So what are we choosing to listen to? That's our choice. And every time every time my ego gives me a thought, I have gotten quick at consciously turning that around and taking the opposite and speaking that out and going like really excited and thankfulness and just speaking like I just did, just like, oh, thank you, I'm really going to make this. Oh, thank you, it's going to happen. Oh, you've got my back. You're wanting to give this to me. You're wanting to show me what my next steps are. And my ego's like freaking out. I was like, no, it's not what I said. I told you you can't make it. I told you that you're not able to do that. What? And so my ego's been very careful lately to shoot those negative thoughts at me because the ego knows I'm just going to take it and I'm going to use it to my advantage. So that is a very good technique that I have found. You guys can comment on some other techniques that maybe work for you. Okay, so your thoughts create your reality. So our thoughts turn into our feelings, which turn into our attitudes. So we have to be careful. Thought hygiene is extremely important. We have to be careful that we are thinking thoughts that are uplifting and that are a reflection of who we truly are. Every moment of the day. Every moment of the day. We have to get into that mindset. And it is hard work at first. If it's not something you're used to doing, you have to get, into that habit of doing it. Thoughts turn into your feelings. Feelings are an indicator. Feelings are not the truth. They're trying to show us something, trying to indicate something to us. And then that turns into our attitudes, our belief systems. So it's extreme. If you can, why let it go that far? If you could just, stop it at the level of thoughts, okay? So that we create our reality, of course, abracadabra, Aramaic for we create with our words. We create our reality. There's not a mean God up there that's just like, you've messed up too many times. I'm sorry. Your life's going to be hell now. That doesn't exist. We make our life what it is. Responsibility. We make our life what it is. If you don't like your life, start creating something different. What do you want? Decide what you want. So many people out there have no clue what they want. Decide what you want and start creating that by changing your thoughts towards that reality that you want, by changing your words towards that reality which you want, by changing your actions to reflect that reality what you want. Okay? So this week's energy is extremely uplifting, extremely exciting. It's well worth doing the steps to really embrace who you truly are. You are an endless being, and you are already an endless being. You're just basically stepping into that reality. Have a wonderful and powerful and transformative week.